This is a coal miner for Sparwood, BC. This is going to be dedicated in April of 2017 here, and this is for the 50th anniversary of a mine disaster that they have. These are some of the props that the client gave me, so this was important to the life of a coal miner that they would use daily in their daily routine. So this is a lantern that of this time. This is sculpted to like a 1960s style. So this would hang off the guy's belt until he got in, and then he would hang it up inside the job. And then another very important is the battery pack. The battery pack would fit over like another belt. It wouldn't be a part of your pant belt, but it would be a whole separate belt. This would be charged all night, but it'd be ready to go in the morning. And this wire goes all the way up to the helmet. And so an incredibly important part of the whole program here. So you'll see when you'll see in the sculpture that this has been incorporated into it too. And then from here we also have the lunch box, just a simple old lunch box. But there's these two little holes here, and what would happen is they would take the chain and they'd run the chain from here to there on that side to the other side and slip that over their shoulder just to free up their other hand. So it's these special little things, that make a difference, that makes it very unique to a coal miner of that time and for that place too. So those things are fun. Those are exciting for me to give it a little bit more life and just to authenticate the whole piece. So this is my latest commission. I've got quite a few more going on. You'll probably see some of them in the back there, but we'll get back to those sooner there. But right now we're just working on the clay, and I've been moving so quickly that we're getting onto the flashing here. Today, just after this video is made there, I start making the mold. So what we do is we divide the sculpture. This is just aluminum flashing with some aluminum foil tape, and we're gonna start making the mold today here. So again, this has been it's been a fun sculpture for me, just because it's more of a casual look to the guy. He's just sitting there, he's just relaxed, and going from there, this is I love the clothing, the texture, and I love the overlapping, and just drapery is a fun thing to sculpt. The human figure is neat, but I also love the drapery. It can add a lot to the sculpture, and I really enjoy doing this one. So there's some funky stuff. We've got the lamp right here. We've got a battery pack, and we've got a few other things. It's just been a fun sculpture. I've really enjoyed this, so I'm looking forward to it being in bronze. I'm going to be really thrilled with this piece here. This is the armature, and right away we start with the foam. And so the armature is just some steel armature welded up, just to give it real enforcement just to make it strong while I'm working on it. And we're working about 300 or 400 pounds of clay, and it moves around quite a bit. So then the foam, we shape it out, and I like to get right onto the clay real quick. Again, it's a wax-based clay. It's a clay that never dries out. So here, this one came around really quickly, fooling around with the head positioning a little here and there. But I only had one picture to work with of an individual that not the individual, but they said, hey, this is the body style we want. This is the guy in the position. And from there, I was able to dress up a friend and take photos in that position. And so there are some props in this one. You'll see as we slowly put it together. There is the lunchbox, and they don't carry the lunchbox. These coal miners didn't carry lunchboxes by the handle. They always took it and put a chain around it, so they would be able to free their other hand up, so that the chain would go around their shoulder. And the lantern, there's a very specific lantern they used to use, and then there's also the battery pack and the lantern that is on top of their helmet. And so again, this was a really neat one. I like just the casual stance to this guy, and just the fabric, the clothing. I love texturing, I love layering, and you can give some real life to a sculpture in just with its clothing. I think about, I'm doing a few other pieces you'll see soon, and some of them are police officers. Those have to be very correct in its positioning, their stance, and this one gives me a little bit more liberty to work with. I really enjoyed just doing a regular Joe standing there and posing for the camera. So this was a lot of fun here. So again, you see me working around and moving around like a fool all the time, here, there, around and around and around. That really does help with just perspective. The whole proportion is important, but if you just worked on the one side and then went to the back, you suddenly realize, oh, this guy's leaning way too far back or forward. So moving around all the time, working and working, you get to see these things, and you're seeing with fresh eyes. There's times I just sit back on a chair and look at it, or even having a coffee and looking at it and go, oh man, check that out. That doesn't look right. And so not all things come to you right away, but it sure makes a difference. So you'll see me taking off the head a few times and just reworking it again and again until I'm happy with it. They wanted a nice, just a friendly guy to warm up to, jovial, inviting, and so this is going to be, again, sitting in front of one of the world's largest rock trucks that they have. So working with the client here, I was only given one photo, and so here we go right here. There's the photo of the, it wasn't about the individual as much, we were just trying to go with the positioning of him standing. It's very dark, but you can figure out certain things, and having the different things on him, the lunchbox, the lantern, the helmet and how it sits and all that. And didn't want to work the face because it's not about the individual itself, but it was just to capture the coal miner in his daily dress and how he would be going and coming from work daily. So again, this has been a lot of fun.